Welcome to Fast Keto. I'm your host, Ketogenic Girl. Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Fast Keto. I am super excited for today's episode. I've been looking forward to recording it. We have a special guest, Shawn Sakinofsky, joining us today. He is a competitive cyclist and he does a ketogenic diet. And we connected a while back on Instagram. He reached out to me because he was following a ketogenic diet, and he has so many people bombarding him with questions all the time about how he does keto and how he does, this kind of long-term endurance athleticism with a keto diet and how he performs so well on it. So today we're going to dig into all of that. And I just find this topic of athleticism and ketogenic athletes so interesting. And Shawn is one of the first athletes we've really had on the show who does competitive athletics. So can't wait to dive into it with you guys today. And I hope you enjoy today's episode featuring Shawn. All right, guys, it's holiday time, and if you are looking for the perfect gift this year for your loved ones, why not give the gift of health and gaining health through low carb by gifting someone the 28-day challenge? I'm running a very, very special promotion this year. I am giving away a free membership to anyone who buys the program for a friend or family. So if you give the 28-day challenge membership and meal plan to a friend, colleague, family member, anyone that you think would love this, I will give you an additional membership and version of the book as well. You can go to ketogenicgirl.com and use the discount code Holiday Gift Special 2018. That's Holiday Gift Special 2018. I'll put it in the show notes, and if you put 2 of the 20-day challenge program, you can get either the digital or the digital and the book in your cart. You can use the coupon code and you will get one entirely free. That's savings of over $150. To join the program, it has unlimited membership. Once you join, you have the full meal plans to follow for 28 days. You can repeat it as many times as you like. There's no time limit on the challenge, and you can stay in the program, and it's just a one-time upfront amount and investment in your health, and there's no limit after that on staying in our group. We have some members who've been in the group for 2 years that I'm still coaching, and I just love getting to do this, and I love how our members also help and support all the new members that join and who are trying out keto, starting keto either as a beginner or doing keto for a long time and just wanting to try something new and shake things up. So that is my Christmas holiday gift special, and the coupon code is Holiday Gift Special 2018. You can put the code in at ketogenicgirl.com for a free membership to the 20-day challenge with your purchase of one for a friend, family member, or loved one. I can't wait to have you join us. A few disclaimers. By listening to this podcast, you agree not to use this podcast as medical advice, as I am not a qualified healthcare provider. The information presented on this podcast is for educational purposes only. Ketogenic Girl is not qualified to provide medical advice. Consult your own physician for any medical issues that you may be having. This entire disclaimer also applies to any guests or contributors to this podcast. Prior to beginning a ketogenic diet, you should undergo a full health screening with your physician to confirm that a keto diet is suitable for you and to rule out any conditions or contraindications that may pose risks or that are incompatible with a ketogenic diet. A keto diet may or may not be appropriate for you if you have any kind of health condition, whether known to you or unknown. So you must consult your physician to find this out. Anyone under the age of 18 should consult with their physician and their parents or legal guardian. Hey, Shawn, thank you so much for joining us all the way from South Africa.
Thank you very much for having me.
It is so cool. And you are in Cape Town?
Cape Town, South Africa, sunny Cape Town, probably one of the most beautiful cities in the world.
I've heard that. It's definitely on my list of places to visit. And are you born and raised there?
Yes, I was born and raised, and I always make a joke of this. I was born and raised in a small room in the southern suburbs of Cape Town, South Africa. Yeah, kept to myself, always have been. Yes, yep.
That's really cool. Now, it was so cool that we got to connect over social media because you are a keto athlete and there aren't that many out there. So I need to know, like, what brought you to keto? How did you discover it? What made you try it? Because it kind of goes against everything that you're taught, as an athlete especially.
Absolutely, very true what you said. My first encounter, my progression to becoming a keto athlete was due to the fact that I'm gluten intolerant, and it was from eliminating those sort of nutrients out of my diet. I then followed the paleo diet, what people call the paleo diet, and then after the passing of my father in 2013, I started looking sort of more at my ancestors, my great grandfathers, grandmothers, uncles, aunts. They all passed away from cancer and or health motivation. The performance sort of aspects of it for me are far outweigh any sort of motivation for taking in carbohydrates, and the fact that sugars are, you function better when you are operating at higher heart rates, or what the sports scientists call zone 5, your zone 5 heart rate. When for me, my first and foremost sort of goal when I want to perform is to be liberated, is to be free, and free of having to always refuel all the time, free of having those dips, those low energy dips that you get when you carbohydrate, when you fueled by carbohydrates. Once you become fat adapted and ketogenic, it really is liberating. For me, it's the best sort of. I couldn't say it's an invention, because in my opinion, we should all be ketogenic. We were also supposed to operate off fat. But it's the best thing you can do for yourself if you are an endurance athlete.
I couldn't agree more. I think that we really just have deviated so far off the path of what real food is. And so it's not like a strange or weird way of eating. It's just really the way we should be eating.
It's actually a very interesting, food can almost be politically motivated. It's about how you feed the masses. I mean, this whole sort of, I'm going to be controversial. This whole sort of fashion of veganism, which has just arisen in the last, say, 10, 15 years. It's a fashion, and in my opinion, it preaches a diet which is bogus. And there's a lot of people which are, with their health, and I do take this very personally, and very, because my young niece, she's a vegan, and she's got really terrible health issues. And she is my niece. I'm not saying that I'm this family orientated person, but she is my family, and I do take it personally that there are people that are, or she's following a regime which is, she's convinced by other sort of views and values. Believe me, I don't for a single second think you're a good person because you eat a certain way. When you wear a something on your sleeve to show that I've got a lot of tattoos and a lot of brands on me. When you wear something on your sleeve, you really, and I'm in social media, I know all about this. Don't ever judge a book by its cover. Never ever judge a book by its cover. Ask questions and don't take things at face value. And likewise for food, because there's a lot of people preaching high carb diets, which Vanessa, I will. This kind of really sort of gets me upset. I don't ride with anyone. I really do keep to myself. But from time to time, I see people riding on the road, and when I see a person, regardless of gender, out there in lycra, and lycra doesn't lie. You can see when somebody is really grossly overweight, and you can see the colored water in their bottles, and that colored fluid in their bottle is sugar. It is such a sad thing to see. that they are still feeding their problem. And the problem is the fact that they're overweight and they're feeding the problem with sugar. And we can't know everything, unfortunately. So, you go into you see adverts all the time about products which will give you energy, but those you shouldn't be ingesting these products, which are not helping you with this unfortunate excess weight that you've got. And people don't realize that how strong sugar is as a drug. Sugar should, in my opinion, it's causing more harm to people than some banned substances out there. That's how bad sugar is. It changes your chemicals in your brain. It spikes your insulin out of control, and I'm not unaware that other foods also spike your insulin. But sugar is the primary cause, and it's the first fuel that your body's going to tap into. As you can hear, I'm very passionate about the keto diet and being fueled by fat. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I mean, it's highly addictive, it's highly stimulating, and it's highly refined. And, in some ways, I think it probably should be classified as a drug and, not as a food so much.
Professor Tim Noakes put out a tweet. Yeah, he likes to tweet a lot. He put out a tweet that he wishes that the pros, the professional athletes out there would say something that sugar is only necessary, for specific, high maximal output, whatever the scientists want to call it. And I think he got some of the trolls out there got upset with him and so on and so forth. It's so true. Sugar is a performance enhancing substance. It really is, but people abuse it, and there are consequences from it, and it's in everything. I mean, and also, I don't have any children, but if I did, the one thing I would never ever allow is, whilst my child is growing up, to have carbohydrates. That's how adamant I am about it. And vehement I am against giving. I wish my parents never ever gave me bread, sugar, some fruits, some vegetables. Once again, just getting back to the sugar thing, I would certainly not give my kids sugar. Absolutely not. And the brain, your motivation, your self-motivation, that is the strongest part of any lifestyle or diet. And when somebody says to me, and I've had plenty of people saying, yeah, but it's just so difficult to get into that state of ketosis and become fat adapted, but nothing is supposed to be easy in life. If you want to obtain and achieve in life, you're going to have to suffer a bit. Same way, somebody made a comment that it's unnatural to be in a state of ketosis. It's because the body, it just takes so long it varies from individual to individual. It's unnatural. You're starving the body. So I said, yes, but it's unnatural to lose, but you lose fitness in such a short space of time as well, and you're saying that's unnatural too. It's you've got to if you want to achieve and maintain, you've got to work hard at it. And once you are in that lifestyle, and I don't like to use the word diet because diet's always got a connotation that it's short term. Once you have adopted the lifestyle of being ketogenic, it's a game changer for you. It's an absolute game changer. The whole notion of having lunch, I've got to have lunch. That just goes out the window. I find the fact that you always got to sit down and eat and prepare. And, all of this. You've got to prepare the meal. Just get a piece of meat, slap it on the pan, warm it up, and eat it. That's. Some of the meat that I eat raw. If it's fresh, nice, lazy, aged, dried meat, I'll eat it raw. And we place so much social emphasis around about gathering and sitting down and eating. And this is part, and I'm basically preaching to change almost and also in the cycling world, you meet your mates and you go for a coffee ride and you sit down and you have some pastries, some croissants, some whatever else they eat. I've even forgotten. And there's always the donuts. Yeah, the donut. Honestly, the people that I've gone for rides with, they truly do eat these foods. And I'll go and have a cappuccino. That's it. I've ridden the same distance, the same intensity, and I'll go and have a cappuccino or a glass of wine. The one thing I do enjoy is a nice glass. Still, the 4 grams of carbohydrates in the glass of wine I'll have. The thing is, I probably am not welcome in most coffee shops anymore because I don't promote pastries and other sugary drinks. However, the point is, I'm working as hard as they are. I'm not falling behind in my performance. I'm not slowing them up. In some cases, they're slowing me up. And a lot of these people that I've ridden with are 10, 15, 20 years my junior. There was a vegan, and I have to use the word vegan because I pushed her everywhere. I mean, she was getting hyperglycemia and bonking here and bonking there, everywhere. And I was pushing her everywhere because it wasn't that she was unfit. She just needed to refuel all the time. So I cannot promote. It's a secret weapon to become ketogenic. And the other important thing is about being ketogenic is your endocrine system works perfectly. You become a man becomes a man, and a woman becomes a woman. We are what we are. We don't put our bodies at risk of retarding its recovery, slowing down its development of its muscle and growth hormone. All of these essential essential hormones in the endocrine system, which help and aid in performance. And really, people don't understand how important it is to have these fats in our diet.
Just taking a really quick break to tell you guys about the fact that if you do a new program, lifestyle change, or diet change with a buddy, your success goes way up. And I'm here to be your buddy, to be your guide. If you want to try out keto or you've been doing it for a while and not getting the results that you want, you can join me in the 20-day challenge. And right now I'm running a very, very special Christmas gift special, and you can go to ketogenicgirl.com, use the discount code Holiday Gift Special 2018, and you can get a 2-for-1 membership and program to the 20-day challenge. That's right. If you buy this as a gift for a friend or family member or colleague or anyone on your Christmas list this year, I will give you a free membership as well as a copy of the book. And you can either get just the digital version or you can buy the printed version. And if you get the printed version as well, I'll send you 2 copies, and you can let me know the address to send the other one to if it's a special gift or you're giving it to them in person. There's no better time to join the 20-day challenge with January coming up. It's just around the corner, and it's going to be something so fun to look forward to get started with keto, get started with low carb, and kick off 2019 with a bang. Join the 20-day challenge. Use this discount code Holiday Gift Special 2018. I'll put it in the show notes as well at ketogenicgirl.com. Add 2 of the 20-day challenge programs to your cart and use that one, and you will get 1 completely free. I can't wait to have you join us in the new year. We had a question from Janice, and she wants to know, can you tell us what a typical day looks like while you're doing an endurance event, nutrition-wise, and do you use any snacks during the event?
I have to talk about this last event, the big event, because the word event has come into the question. I did this very big ride. It's called the La Marmotte. It was in July this year, and it covers a big distance of 170 odd kilometers. And there's 4 big mountain passes, which equates to, I think, around about 5,000 meters of climbing, which is big by anybody's standard. And this para-Olympian who I rode with, he unfortunately lost his leg, and he's a world champion motor GP racer and para-Olympian. I rode with him for the event, so we weren't there we were there just to finish it. And I believe my caloric burn was, or count through my power meters and heart monitors, was around about 5,000 to 6,000 calories, maybe more. And I replaced. We stopped. I had, I think, 3 cappuccinos, which is say 70 to 80 calories in the cappuccinos. There was a stop, and they had salami there. And I remember, I just thought of how novel it was to have salami amongst all of these fruits and energies. So I had some salami, and I had this Quest makes this protein bar, which doesn't have any. They use a prebiotic, which is actually made from carbs. So it's got, I think in the bar, it's got about 23 grams of carbs. So I had these this bar as well. So, and I kind of rounded it off at replacing that ride during the ride of 750 calories I took in for the ride versus burning 6,000 calories. And this is not defaming Mohammed at all, but he was fueled by carbohydrates, and he hit the wall tremendously. He bonked terribly. We were just getting him coke. Well, eventually, it was literally a game of just survival from that standpoint. But yeah, no, I was fine at the end of the day, and that was 9 hours of riding.
Yeah, I mean, so in a are the days that you're doing events, the way that you formulate your meals different than like on an everyday kind of thing?
No, not at all. In fact, sometimes I ride fasted. So I did a big ride the other day, 3 hours, and I didn't eat before I went and rode, and I tried not to eat afterwards as well, just to sort of extend that fasted period. And I ride hard. I don't ride slow. I ride really hard, and so it's not like I just turn the pedals. I make sure that there is a substantial amount of power coming out that I'm generating. And I have to tell you, I feel better riding faster than when I am fueled. Just bear in mind, if you think about it from being ketogenic, a person who's fueled by carbs, they need the carbohydrate. And carb loading, well, your muscles can only so much carbs, and so can your liver. So if you're taking in the carbs immediately, yeah, you're fueling up because you're going to be burning those carbs. But if your body's in fat burning machine, it doesn't matter really when you eat, because we all have fat on us and in us, and different kinds of fat. So yeah, for me, I just I just eat, and when I eat is when I eat. And lately, I've found a nice supply of smoked salmon. Nice oily, fatty smoked salmon, which I've just been enjoying tremendously for a pre-ride and a post-ride meal. Yeah, and we're talking about 80 grams of smoked salmon. We're not talking about. I mean, that's it. That's what I'm eating. So it's, yeah. I mean, and Vanessa, I enjoy, like, testing and playing around with foods and quantity of foods, and to see where I feel good and where I don't feel good. And I try to go pure carnivore, but I found that the fact that I was getting too much sort of glucose from the high protein, and I was feeling the effects of low blood sugar on the bike from having too much protein. But because I just love the whole idea of just eating meat, But for me, I just prefer, my body works better fat fueled. There's no two ways about it. I just love that when I soak my clothes and I get that waft of ammonia from my sweat, and I don't often get the key, and I miss getting the ketone breath. But sometimes when I work really really hard, I get it. But I don't, it's when you know that you're in ketosis. And I'll tell you, my best friend, she's a doctor. She's a medical doctor, always studying. She's based in the US, and she's gone full ketosis. Sorry, full ketogenic diet, full. And she from time to time sends me, she measures her ketone bodies in her urine. So she'll send me pictures of the numbers, which I'm kind of amused. And then the one time she actually asked, she sent me some questions, and I said, "But hang on, aren't you the doctor?" So, which I thought was actually quite amusing. She suffers from Hashimoto's disease, and she says it's been a game changer for her. Being on the ketogenic diet. So, and being on the keto, it's just, once again, it's just the way I just think that when on the ketogenic diet. It sounds like another fad, but it just works. It really, really works.
It's not a fad when it's been done for millions of years,
Well, there you go.
I would say that eating high grain diets are more the fad, and it's just so funny how it's been so twisted around back.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You said that when you are, because you're fat adapted, so when you're cycling, you have more freedom from having to eat. So do you not need to have any snacks like when you're competitive? Or?
Absolutely. I don't take any snacks with me when I go ride. I take it just in case a bar. What am I saying? It's just in case. So it's the same sort of thing as taking a spare tube with you. It's just in case. But I don't. It's almost moldy. Kind of replace it once. It's like it's literally. And I don't take anything. And actually what I've realized as well is I find that if I have a cappuccino with all that milk, I find that spikes my insulin. So I've even stopped taking in cappuccinos, but I find that a nice Americano really, it just, I mean, after 2/3 of a ride, having the caffeine, it's that wow. It really is wow. I do my max efforts.
Yeah.
So in hour number 3, after a nice coffee stop, I'll have I have my I kind of do like a nice max effort afterwards.
Yeah.
And that's obviously because of the caffeine.
Yeah, the caffeine really suppresses an allosteric enzyme, so it enables you to be fat fueled longer, to kick into those fat stores when you're in that endurance.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel the effects. I look forward to having that Americano. I just know that it's just. But if I have a proper cappuccino, I feel the effects on my insulin. So I've kind of veered away from having that in the ride. But I found it really, really fascinating how it did affect me, and I realized it's actually the milk. It's actually the milk that's doing this to me. So I've stopped.
So, I'm curious. Do you know any other athletes who follow a keto diet? Because I kind of suspect that there are a lot of athletes doing it, but not talking about it, because it is kind of an edge to have access to unlimited energy instead of, as you said, bonking or hitting a wall once you run out of your glycogen.
I think a lot of the top endurance runners are heading toward. I don't know so much about the cyclists out there. I think the closest thing I've heard is to pro cycling team using. I do believe Sky's got a ketone supplement which they're using, which has been doing unbelievable. I wouldn't say they are following a ketogenic diet, but I know that these ketones have been said to really enhance performance. The recent 1 hour world record, which was broken, the female was done recently, about a month or two ago. Her name is Victoria Busi. She used a ketone supplement as well. It was her primary sort of fuel, which she broke the world 1 hour record using the supplement. But specifically ketogenic athlete or keto athletes, because I don't use supplements like this on the bike. I follow a diet. I don't know of any top pro athletes that are following this diet, but I do know, unfortunately, the names slip my memory at the moment. There are some top endurance runners, or trail runners, who follow a ketogenic diet and have had tremendous results from it. And one of it is the sort of advantages that they talk about is not having to take all that food along with them on the run. And then also upset stomachs. And when you're taking in all these sugary products, sometimes your stomach just says, "That's it. It's now running," and nausea, and getting that nausea from just taking in all those sugary drinks, and also another thing about the sugary drinks, it kills your teeth. It really kills if you're taking in all the sugary drinks. I mean, the amount of cavities you get from these high it just really kills your teeth. So there's some tremendous advantages of following a ketogenic diet and being an athlete. But one of the things for me, and one of the primary thing is is not having to stop. It's the same sort of thing as if in cycling we have there's clincher tires, we have tubular tires, and now we have tubeless tires, which basically it has a sealant in there, and when you get a slight little cut in it, the sealant quickly seals up a cut which would in the past you'd have to stop, take out the tube and put in a new tube and pump up the tire. With this, sometimes you don't even know that your tire has been actually pierced or punctured, because it just seals up so quickly, and it just keeps you moving. And as cycling is transcending, not just it's in the past it's always just a sport, but as cycling is transcending as something as a lifestyle and being an adventure. You don't want to stop. You just want to keep on moving, and it's so liberating to be in that position where your engine, which is you, is fueled continuously. And sure, eventually you're going to run out of fuel, but the old way, you are refueling every, say, hour and a half with a gel, with a banana, with drinking a liter of Coca-Cola because you've bonked. Those things, they just don't happen anymore.
Right. It's such a roller coaster, up and down roller coaster. And when you're fat fueled, whether you're an athlete or not, just having that stable blood sugar has so many positive effects, also just on your mood and your energy levels. Oh. It's really amazing. Now, one question I have for you, and I think it's probably the thing I wonder about the most, and you probably come across it as well, but what about electrolytes? Because it seems that when people go on low carb, one of the biggest factors that they can experience is fatigue, because we lose a lot of water. We're not getting all the sodium anymore from packaged foods. So we lose a lot of electrolytes. And then I know when you're doing endurance sport, you're also losing electrolytes. So do you find you've noticed anything different in terms of having to replenish them, or what do you do for that?
I do take a multivitamin, which it's got electrolytes there and various other nutrients. But I will say, I cake my food in salt, but incredibly, huge. I take. It's like I don't have a word for it. I just love salt, and actually, this is another thing about how cholesterol and saturated fat and animal fat is bad for you. There was a year in, I think it was 2014, I used to eat at a steakhouse, I think every 3 nights a week. I'm a bachelor, okay? And I used to have, which has generally got fat, and Jimmy, who no longer owns this restaurant, and people know me for this, he used to cut me an extra piece of fat it must have been at least another 100 grams of fat. Okay, fried up, and then I used to use that. It was like an old-styled steakhouse with those blocks of butter. I used to take all that butter and just cake it over my steak, and I used to just take that shaker, that salt shaker, and just shake it, just get all that salt out there. Okay, onto that steak, and I'm still yet to die of a heart attack. So, I mean, that's another thing about how, this clogs your arteries, and it's going to make you fat and all of this nonsense. But the electrolytes, the sodium, I get it from a lot of salt in my diet. I was trying to think of other food sources that will have electrolytes. I think I've cramped once or twice. It was in the arch of my foot and in my calf. And I don't think it was from a lack of electrolytes. I think it was from what they call, when you overdo it. They call it neuromuscular overload, is when you just demand just too much and your body just triggers like a response where no more. And I don't think it's from a lack of electrolytes. But if somebody is worried about electrolytes, just get some electrolytes antacids. There's a lot of antacid products out there that don't contain sugar or sucrose. They've got artificial sweeteners. We can't always be perfect, but they got some of them have got sodium bicarbonate, which is a known performance enhancer. And there's a lot of products out there that contain stuff like potassium, magnesium, and I also do take a zinc and magnesium a supplement as well. So I forget about that.
Those electrolytes are so important, and it's often recommended that people supplement, especially with the sodium. But it's incredible how many of our body's functions are all happening. All these biochemical processes are happening through our sodium-potassium exchange in the cells and calcium. So it is important to replenish those. And some people recommend as much as 2 teaspoons a day of salt added to food, and you can just add it to your food or you can add it to your water. But potassium is great to get from like real food sources, like avocados are so full and rich of potassium.
I eat ever. I'm not 100% carnivore. I preach meat all the time, but I do have ever. But yeah,
potassium and nutrients as well, and fiber.
And fiber, I do have psyllium husk. I've always battled with my gut. So gut health has always been something of great concern to me. I do take a probiotic. I've battled tremendously with my gut health all of my life. I don't recall there being. And what made it worse, believe it or not, was fruits and vegetables. They just make me like so gaseous.
Yeah.
That I'm uncomfortable, but I don't have those problems. Like I say, when I was growing up, when I was under the mercy of being fed by my parents, I wish they had the knowledge that I had today.
Yeah, I was just presenting in Mallorca, and I was saying, my parents were doing the best that they could based on the information available, which was the food pyramid guidelines, which I was referring to as the biggest pyramid, scam of all, because it's basically completely upside down. And your parents are, doing the best that they can and following this guideline when, there's so many vested interests who are responsible for formulating this pyramid. And it's just when we get back to real food, we noticed so many health improvements. I had major bloating and digestive pain, and then I haven't been bloated I haven't had any pain since going off gluten. It's been 5 years now, and I finally don't have any bloating or indigestion now since I cut out some of the really high fiber vegetables I was eating. And it's amazing. Like, I never have like a distended abdomen or anything, and that discomfort, I just kind of accepted it. Like, oh, this is what happens when you eat. No, that's not supposed to happen.
No, it's not. It's absolutely not. It's absolutely not. And yourself and who else? And yourself and also the likes of Caleb Peterson and her father as well. These people. It's like people are using. They're trying to take ideology and replace physiology with ideology. And your body, that doesn't kind of work. That doesn't work at all. And sometimes, you just, in short, you just don't overthink it. Just eat the meat, and that case closed. That's it. Just eat the meat, And
We'll be back in a moment, but I just want to take a moment to say something about collagen. I received a lot of questions from you guys about collagen ever since I started posting my Level Up lattes where I add collagen to coffee. The only real drawback to bone broth, where you get so much great collagen, it's one of the reasons that bone broth has become so popular in the last few years, is you get this great collagen from it, but it's a real hassle to make. Now, for any of you who don't know, collagen is a special protein that your body uses to repair itself, whether you're getting it to straighten out digestive problems, help your mood, soothe achy joints, repair and support your gut lining if you have leaky gut, or just get that glow back in your skin. Collagen is a huge piece of the puzzle. The problem is that most of us get very little of it from our diet unless we're making bone broth around the clock. Now, maybe you're using a collagen-based skin cream or you're adding collagen to your coffee like I do. That's better than getting none at all. But one of my biggest beliefs is that food beats supplements. The closer a nutrient is to nature, as you know, the easier it is for your body to break it down. That translates into superior healing. That's why I want to tell you about this bone broth from Kettle and Fire. They simmer grass-fed bones for 10 to 20 hours, extracting every drop of body-loving collagen straight from its most natural source. Their beef bone broth contains 20 grams of collagen per carton, and their chicken broth has 10. No wonder they have over 10,000 5-star reviews. The only real drawback, as I said, is making bone broth is a pain to make, but that's not going to be a problem for you because order from Kettle and Fire, they ship their broth straight to your door in specially sealed cartons. That way you can heat it up on your stove, sip it in your mug, or load up on collagen in 5 minutes or less. It's the next best thing to having a chef come in your house and cook it for you. Kettle and Fire has put together a very special offer for my listeners who want to experience the bone broth difference. You can go to kettleandfire.com. That's KETTLE and fire.com/ketogenic girl and use the code ketogenic girl in all caps for 15% off. The coupon code is automatically applied when you buy through this link, which I will put in the show notes.
I was going to ask you, what would you put on a billboard for everyone to see? And I think that's a perfect billboard. Don't overthink it. Just eat them. You guys have in South Africa, it's known for banting, right?
Absolutely. So banting and keto is pretty much the same thing. So, but in Cape Town we've got such a diverse range of sort of cultures and people, and you've got those snowflake vegans that have the hipster kind of, it's
yeah.
it's like, honestly, it's like we don't get me started. I'll end up sounding like Jordan Peterson right now. The thing is, it's we've got this incredible. From a tourist, from a place you want to come and visit and just see the different food restaurants and coffee shops to offer in Cape Town. It's quite incredible. It's amazing. I've actually stopped going out because I just enjoy my own company, but when I ride past these new places and new shops, and I know the quality of the food is just so good. And I actually want to ask you a question, and I've been dying to actually ask you a question. So when I travel a lot to the EU, and for me, staying in ketosis is really, really important. And so I like to go and shop in the supermarkets myself. And I love my salamis and I love my cured meats. And a lot of the cured meats here in South Africa, they don't use sucrose, dextrose, maltodextrins, or glucose as a preservative. They use other, maybe not so good stuff. But I do find that if there's any fillers or cornstarches or sugars, that does affect me. And I realized how much it affected me from my last my last trip to France because their sausage, their salami, it's got so much sugar in. And I know it's got sugar in because you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out, even if you don't speak French, what sugar is in French. And it's kind of high up when it comes to the list of ingredients that they stipulate on the actual packaging.
Yeah.
And you've put a lot of on your stories, a lot of cured meats.
Mm-hmm.
Does your cured meats contain sugar?
They don't. Yeah, I really, really make sure that they don't. I'm really strict with it. So I usually go for prosciutto because most of the time I can find it. It's just pork and salt. And then with the salami, we actually have a lot of local butchers here in Prague. So they actually just, because they're these little, homestead, farmstead, sourced butcher shops, they make salami without any sugar. It's just sometimes some spices. They'll add a little bit of paprika to it or something, but there's no sugar. And they do like smoked sausage and salami. They have one as well with dextrose or glucose in it, and I just don't get that one. But if I'm traveling and I can't see the packaging, I just get prosciutto because that like 99% of the time it's just pork and salt, parma ham, and those kinds of things. And then, but if it's anything from a package or a restaurant, I don't even get bacon at restaurants because it's gonna have sugar in it. So it is harder in that way, when I'm on the road.
It's because for me it really affected me. I developed just on the right side of my stomach, just by the navel, a layer. A layer of fat after my last trip to France. That's how much, and that's where the insulin. It was. I was a little bit disgusted, but at the same time fascinated by the.
Right.
And I knew exactly where it came from because all the meats that I was eating had sugar, and it was also. I actually was at one stage. I realized you actually are getting addicted again to the sugar. You're eating this meat because of the sugar. So I really need to find a way to strategize for my next trip because I don't ever want this to happen again. So I just reckon eggs, and trying to find a butchery where you can just get fresh cuts of meat yourself.
Yeah, I do think that it is easier in Europe at least. Like if I'm back in the US or something, like I don't even bother unless I can see the package myself because it's just they put it in every possible thing. It's amazing.
Which but why? Why can't, if there's ways of doing it other ways, why do we have to have the sugar? That's, it's why
Yeah, I really think it comes down to just market competition because if your salami with the sugar in it tastes better, then how can you compete, with someone who is making it without, like, how can you compete if you're the only one who's doing it without sugar?
No, look, it's, for me, I get frustrated because I just want to have, is there any meat here? And they also cake it in flour, so I spend, time underneath the tap and then peeling it off. So, and the other thing, I think, just to answer another question, what else can you take on rides? Just going back to the other question, because something else is macadamia nuts and pecan nuts. Is something that if I had to go for like a really long ride, I would probably if like I couldn't find something that is something that you can find in France, in the EU, or macadamians and pecan nuts, which I'd use on a ride. But honestly, just getting back to that, that's if I was doing 5, 6, 7 hours plus, 3-4 hours. I wouldn't bother about worrying about refueling or So unless somebody spiked my drink with sugar and my insulin went,
that would be a good way to sabotage you.
that's why I ride alone. And I'm a keto habit. I always go to the same places, and
Yeah,
and yeah, I sure, and
cool to see actually talking about being fat fueled. I think I saw Zach Bitter, who's a carnivore. He just recently set a new world record. I think I'm not sure what it was exactly, but I saw that he set a new record.
so he's one of the pioneers of keto and endurance keto athletes, and he's been doing things which are amazing. And like I said, there's a lot of specifically runners, trail runners, ultra marathon runners, which are now fat fueled, you know, operating on the way they should be. And it's actually quite. I'm giving away my secrets over here, and it really is. It's that's how passionate I am about it. It's in the tour. If you can imagine all the cyclists, they've got feed zones, specific feed zones, and they get these musettes, and in the musettes they've got some solid foods, they've got gels, they've got sugary drinks, and various other things in there, and there's a few feed zones along the race, and I recall one. I think it was a Paris-Nice, which is a multi-stage race for people who don't follow cycling. It's one of the early tours in the cycling calendar. And Alberto Contador they attacked him. The opposing teams attacked him, I think, during one of these feed zones, which is not really ethical, whatever you call it. But the long and the short of it is he ran out of energy, and I think he lost the overall, or he lost time on that stage. But at the end of the stage, he couldn't even get his feet out of the cleats and the pedals. He was so he had such bad hypoglycemia, and it was. I mean, I'll never forget that. And he was just give me a Coke, and he was just like leaning against the side of the barrier. And if once again, but your heart burns only this fuel at this heart rate and whatever. But I just think that your body it can adapt. Honestly, I've never been so strong on a bike before. I'm not going to say I'm going to go and enter in a race, but I feel I'm getting older, but I don't feel like I'm getting weaker, and I feel like I can go for longer. I mean, last year in December, I was riding 3-4 hours, 5 days a week for a month, which I've never done it before. And for me, it's got to do with the fuel that I take in, and what I'm eating in the evening, and what I'm eating during the day. Yeah, it's. I mean, I think maybe in the future we may even see a peloton that doesn't have feed, that doesn't have feed zones anymore. The guys standing with the bags, come get your bag, on the side of the road. And you never know. It's the thing is, it's when the sport world, or when science catches up with the sport world, or when the sport world catches up with the science, or it's when once again, it's probably not in somebody's vested interest that you stop taking sugary products. You got to keep your sugars up. You got to carb up. You got to keep on carb loading. Just make sure that those 2 beta cells in your pancreas run out. They stop working too eventually. That's what you're promoting really at the end of the day. Just eat fat. Eat fat and stay healthy. That's
Right. We want to promote those alpha cells instead, promoting glucagon. That's what we're all about. Now, what is the best purchase you've ever made for keto or just for your health and cycling?
Oh no! Well, actually, that's I've had a few companies or who sell ketone, ester ketone, or ketone esters, I should rather say, approach me with regards to, I'd be kind of keen to try it out. But then I thought to myself, well, if I'm not using, and sorry, that's actually a very interesting question. Just now to think about. If I'm not using anything on the bike, if if I'm wanting to go faster, what is preventing me from going faster is my my own fitness and cardiovascular system. And if I'm not needing fuel or to refuel on a 3-4 hour ride, and I'm not really riding longer, then why would I need to take these ketone salts in? So I don't have a secret that I use from that perspective. And then also thinking about using these ketone salts or ketone esters, which are supplements. I don't know. I don't think there are secret weapons on the ride. I do take supplements. And I will tell you that I actually founded a supplement company back in 2006, which is still going. Yeah. Which I'm no longer a part of, and so I mean I know about supplements, and there are certain supplements which in my opinion do actually work and help. They aren't as the thing about the supplement market is that they do preach these massive gains, or the way it's marketed, I should rather say. They do actually put on the labels 2-5% aren't really that massive, but the way it's marketed, it's just people must be wary of marketing. And I think one of the primary reasons why I kind of got out of what I did was I just didn't believe in carbohydrates anymore. And it's the same sort of thing. If I stopped wearing socks, I don't think I could sell socks anymore. So and then why didn't I go into making ketone supplements? So I don't know why I didn't go into. I just wanted to. For me, it's an end of an era. I think there's a lot to be said about real foods and organic food, whether it's vegetables or meat and grass finished meat. Yeah, I mean, from somebody just getting back to the whole real food game, from somebody who my late father was a pharmacist who actually also owned a health shop in his later years. He was a kind of a health shop icon in Cape Town. That's the other thing about the supplement game as well, is that people like bombard their system with all these supplements, but nutrients compete for absorption. So eventually what you're creating is very expensive urine. So yeah, no, I mean, I'd definitely be wary of supplements on the whole. And even though I do advocate them, but not taking 450 tablets a day. But just getting back to the food, from growing up eating vegetables and fruit, I've suffered twice from overtraining syndrome and chronic, and I'll never get rid of my chronic fatigue. But my first bout of chronic fatigue and training syndrome came in 1998, and then I got it again in 2008, 2009, and I lived and I was on a high carb diet then, fruits and vegetables. Always used to get sick permanently, with sore throats throughout my teenage years, my formative years. I lived on antibiotics. In those days, if you had my late father being a pharmacist, just give him some penicillin, just give him some antibiotics. This was the way it was done in those days. I don't even take as many supplements, and if I'm feeling down, if I'm not feeling strong, I go down to there's a nice there's a nice supermarket here, and they sell ox liver, really good ox liver. And this ox liver is like superfood, and I feel as right as rain after say 200 grams, maybe 250 grams of nice pan fried in a lot of butter ox liver. And I had heart for the first time on Friday, which wasn't anything special to write home about. But ox liver is freaking awesome. But I do too much. I do find that too much liver makes me feel a bit weird. If I have it like two or 3 days in succession. But as far as like that in a superfood, as superfood is concerned, if you want to know about something that's really good, is liver. Liver is
Yeah.
superfood. That's
I
power food.
agree more. Liver and steak, I think, just the bioavailability of nutrients, how well they're absorbed, it's quite amazing.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to ask you some fast questions just as we wrap up here.
No problems.
Rapid fire questions. So, salad or steak?
Steak.
Yeah, I knew the answer to that one. Fasting or no fasting?
Fasting.
Testing or no testing?
No testing.
Supplements or no supplements?
Supplements.
Advocate or silent follower?
Advocate.
Grass-fed or grain-fed?
Grass-fed. Grass-finished.
Rare, medium rare, or well done?
I eat it raw.
Raw, nice. Fried, baked, steamed, or grilled?
Oh. I would say fried. It's just more fat there. Yeah.
Possibility of doing a high carb diet again in the future, possible or never?
Never.
And keto for life or for a few more years?
For life.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. Shawn, well, now where can people follow more of you and your cycling, and where can people learn sort of more about you and your passion for cycling and keto?
I've got so many. Somebody asked me the other day, what do I do, and I stopped. I stopped and I had to think, what do I actually do? The one thing I do, I founded a brand which was socks, and we've now gone into cycling apparel called Sacco 7, and I believe it or not, I actually do the designs for the brand, and I'm the guy with the lovely smile who promotes the brand. But I spend my life on social media, and obviously through my progression through social media, I've become an ambassador, and of course, because my other passion is cycling and my knowledge and my passion for cycling, I've become an ambassador for several other leading brands and products. So you can find me on Instagram, Shawn underscore Sacco, where I put a lot of food, or if I agree with something, or if I want to mention something, I use Twitter, also Shawn underscore Sacco, and then Facebook. People are most welcome to ask to become a friend of me a friend of mine on Facebook, Shawn Sacco, and I'm not afraid to put my dead heart like in pictures and on Facebook. It kind of freak out a little bit people on Instagram. The people that follow me there are not really keto, and a lot of them, the cycling world's very much that's probably why I keep it to myself and stay alone. But if that's the kind of thing, I don't answer, and I've got an email address page, and I think on my Twitter I think there's an email address, but don't send me direct messages because you're not going to get an answer. That's pretty much where you can find me. But Vanessa, I think you're doing a phenomenal job. So, and you've noticed that a lot of people, when they do ask me for information, I rather they go to you. I don't want to. I'm passionate about keto. I will promote it. But it's not what I do to get people. I don't have the time to educate people on keto, and I don't believe I have that specific scientific knowledge that you've got. The bloke who I was posting pictures of, he's probably with one of the very, very few lifetime friends that I've got who was he was in a very bad condition. He was pre-diabetic, and he was really he was not healthy at all. So that's pretty much why I gave him attention and assisted him in his transformation. But for keto advice, it's you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, the support, and I know you get a lot of questions about it, and I'm happy to be there as a resource for people, just for them to get an idea of what this crazy keto diet looks like, because it's really not that crazy. It's just real food. So it's great that you're out there promoting the message, especially as an athlete there's so many athletes that, don't talk about it. So I appreciate you doing that. And thanks so much for joining us today. It was awesome having you on the show.
Listen, well, thank you for having me. Honestly, it's been fantastic, and I think what you have created and what you are doing is absolutely phenomenal, and really well done to you. You just keep it up. Just keep it up.
Thank you so much, John.
You just stay fat fueled, and you will keep it up.
Exactly. Likewise. Same to you. And then I'll put the links to follow you in the show notes so people can follow your cycling journey. All right. Thank you so much, Shawn. Hey guys, thanks for listening to today's episode with Shawn. I had a great time recording with him and looking forward to having more high performance keto athletes on the show. It's a fascinating topic, learning about how an athlete can do such high performance and endurance being fat fueled. It's no surprise to me, but it's a fascinating topic to cover. So I hope you enjoyed the episode with Shawn today. If you are wanting to kick off 2019 with a bang with the 28-day challenge, you can use a special discount code Holiday Gift Special 2018, and you can buy the 20-day challenge for a colleague, friend, or family member. Give it to them, and you will also get one free for yourself as well. You'll get a copy of the program for yourself, the 20-day meal plans, and membership in the coaching and support group. So it's a 2-for-1 special, and the gift code is Holiday Gift Special 2018, and you can use that at ketogenicgirl.com and get someone special on your list, the gift of health. If someone is wanting to try low carb or keto, or you have been wanting to try it out with a friend or family member or colleague, you can do it together. And it's going to be an excellent way to kick off a new you in 2019. So be sure to check that out. And until next week's episode, I hope you have a fat-fueled rest of your week.